Hey guys, this is Spencer with 5-Star Guitars. Today we're going to be talking about Fender's new line of Hammertone pedals. This all-original line brings you the signature Fender tone that you know and love at a price point that can't be beat. Let's check them out. So, before we get going here today, we're going to talk gear. Let's talk about what we're using. So I'm playing through this beautiful 70s Telecaster Deluxe from the Ventera line from Fender. We're going into a Tone Master Deluxe reverb set with all the knobs on 6 except volume. It's on 5.5 or 4.5, say. So you can get a little cleaner sound out of it. We're having the amp reverb on all the time because I think most people who have a Fender amp with reverb are going to use it all the time anyway. So this will be the most useful for you. And then we'll be swapping over to a Fender Ventera 60 Stratocaster Modified as well to show you some single coil tones later. Now let's get going. So first here, we have an Overdrive. Essential to any pedal board, essential to any pedal line. Now, Fender is known for their wide range of overdrive tones out of their amplifiers, starting with the Basement in 1959. And this pedal brings you all of them and then some. Its nice features include, volume, tone, and gain, like any pedal. But then it also has a really nice pre-mid boost control, so you can add those mids before the gain control. Really get it dialed in. Let's check it out. All right. So you can see it blends in really nicely with your clean sound. And it adds a nice amount of cut, but not too much. Cool. Let's see. Looks like the high end can actually be dialed back in using the internal filter control. If you get a little too much, say with single coils and a bright amp. And dialing that in with your pre-mid boost, you can get some almost Brian May style tones. A lot more range out of it than a traditional overdrive. Awesome. Now let's check out the distortion for a little more. Awesome. So distortion takes everything you like about your overdrive sound, punches it up a notch. Gives you more gain, more bass, more treble. Tons of range out of these controls. You get a 2-band EQ to help you really dial your sound in. And the gain covers everything from light crunch up to full-on rock and roll. Now, we'll move on to the fuzz. Speaking of crunchy, nasty, this really takes those tones you wouldn't normally expect out of Fender and gives them to you. Right away, it's really spitty, nasty, it's tight sounding. Still has the bass presence you would want in a fuzz, but it's easily dialed. You can dial it in very easily using your tone control. It's very much traditional, big muff style tone control where you have treble on one side and bass on another side. Fully bassy, sounds huge, fat. All treble, gets really spitty. Then turn on the octave switch. It gets really crazy. Get this nice kind of Hendrix style sounds. particularly on your neck pickup above the 12th fret. The fuzz reminds me of a tighter fuzz, silicone fuzz face, while the octave fuzz reminds me much more of a Fox tone machine. So it's super cool to see Fender bringing in these disparate pedal designs. Next in the line, we have a chorus pedal. One of those classic sounds that, once again, you don't normally expect from Fender, but they really killed it with this one. Nice and rich and lush. It gives you multiple types of chorus. Using the type switch, you can switch between single, double, and quad chorus modes. So you can really get those thick, lush tones. Let's check it out. So you can get those nice mellow chorus sounds, which are really nice. Then you start cranking stuff, you can get extreme. Wiggly, wiggly. Almost rubber band type sounds. Then switch it to double chorus. Single chorus. And you even have a nice little tone switch here. Add some high end. Say you're plugging into the normal channel of an amp, or input 2. So yeah, it just gives you some really nice, chorus sounds. You can get close to vibrato once you crank up that depth, but it still has, the dry blend in there, so it's definitely more in the chorus realm. Next, here we have the metal. I mean, you guys know what this is going to sound like. So it's like the distortion, but more of everything. More gain, more treble, more bass, more loudness. Bring you those classic hair metal sounds, as well as modern rock sounds. That nice tight bass and high gain, but still tons of clarity. Like on the distortion, you get a simple 2-band EQ, volume, and gain controls. Super easy. And then on the inside, you can dial in the mid-range with a boost cut trim pot, as well as a filter like on the Overdrive. So you can really get it dialed in to the sound that works best with your amp. Next, we have the flanger. One of those classic modulation sounds you hear from every record. Very rich, full, and deep sounding. Get simple controls to really help you get the sound where you want it. You have depth and rate, like on any modulation pedal. And then you have manual, which you see on a lot of flangers, helps you dial the starting point for the filter. So we turn it down. you have more focus on the highs, turn it all the way up, more focus on the lows, low mids. And then you also get this 3-position resonance switch to help you decide how much feedback you want. So if you have it all the way up like this, you get heavy resonance. It's really intense, thick, chewy sound. But then if I knock it back a touch, a little less intense. The mid-range kind of dies down a bit, and it'll sit better in a mix, particularly with, some heavy gain in front of it. Where a lot of times if I switch that resonance back up, it'll sound a little too flangy. Awesome. You can also get those more mellow chorus type sounds out of it if you set it really low. And then you also get a polarity switch on the type. Choose whether it's adding or subtracting frequencies. All right, now on to that most signature of Fender effects, the reverb. Now we'll be mixing this in with some amp style reverb because a lot of times you want that classic spring sound and you want to use more of an effect reverb on top of it. So this reverb definitely takes you into the more modern kind of ambient sounds as well as some more mellow, more spacey type sounds. So it's very bright and present, which is nice in a mix. And once you crank that time up like that, you get that in your infinite sustain. It works really well for a lot of modern music, for ambient stuff, for prayer and worship, whatever you got going on. This will provide you a nice pad to sit on for your chords. You get nice simple controls, level, time, and damp. Now what damp is, it controls the amount of high-end regeneration. So we have it all the way up. It's a little darker on the reverb tails. Turn it all the way down, you get that ringiness, kind of spaciness. Really add to it. Now, on this reverb, like on, say, the delay, or a flanger, a chorus, you have multiple types. So you get tons of reverbs out of this one pedal. You get hall, which I have it set to now, classic lexicon style hall reverb. You can switch it to a room, give a little less time on it. Give you a little smaller room. It's still very, very spacey compared to, say, an amp style reverb. And then set it all the way down, get kind of a nice plate sound. Get a little bit more ringiness and a long delay time like on, say, the hall mode. And you get a tone switch, just like on some of the other pedals. Switches amount of high end on your repeats. Help you dial in the perfect tone for your mix, for your amp, for your guitar. So next, we're gonna go to the delays, have some fun here. So we have 2 delays in this line, because I really wanted to cover a lot of ground. So you have the space delay, which is more rhythmic style, tape style delay. Multi-head tape echo type thing, versus the standard delay, which is kind of your straight up 3-mode delay pedal. That's more of a pedal style delay. So let's see what this sounds like. I think you'll get what I mean more. Space delay, you can tell right away. Very clear rhythmic repeats. So on this, you get delay time, feedback, and level. So mix for your delay signal. And you get a wide range of delay times from near instant slapback, when you crank it, tons of delay. And you have a modulation switch, trim pots for which are inside the back of the pedal. Add some real nice vibrato out on those repeats. And you get 3 patterns for the delays. So you get kind of just a standard quarter note delay, you know. You have pattern number 1, where that's more of a kind of like a galloping delay. And then you switch it all the way down to pattern number 2, and you get kind of a different arrangement of the delays. You know, the pattern on the repeats is different, as if you rearrange the heads on a tape delay. When you crank that feedback, you can get some nice self-oscillation out of this, like any good delay pedal. Awesome. Now, for something a little more neutral sounding. Let's check it out. This delay, much more of a straight up delay pedal style delay. Very clear on the repeats. Delays come in at just set standard, you know, quarter note tempo based on the time knob. But the controls on the top are the same. So that way, between the 2 pedals, you can dial them in very similarly. You know, it shouldn't take you much time to learn the other. So this first mode, we have just a standard digital delay, super clear, clean. Then put it down to mode 2, to give more of a kind of a darker analog voice. You know, it's still a digital pedal, but it really gives you a darker voice on those repeats. They die a little earlier. So it'll sit better in a mix, especially in front of a dirty amp. Then go down to mode number 3. It's kind of more of a mid-rangey analog pedal voice, so you can hear it right away. A lot more mid-range content to those repeats. Not quite as dark. Get a little bit more of that clock noise type thing. Really cool for those classic sounds. And of course, you have modulation, just like on the other one. That nice wiggly sound on your repeats. Awesome. And this one as well. Let's get some tones going with single coils. See what we can do. I'm just going to walk through a line of pedals here, get some good tones. That way you can see a variety compared to with the humbuckers. Not often you get that much fatness out of a Stratocaster. This Fender Overdrive, once you crank that pre-mid boost, really gets you there. Whereas it also kind of clears up when you turn it back, which is really nice. Nice and sensitive to your volume knob. People look to Fender for. Move distortion. Compared to the Overdrive. More gain, more treble, more bass, more crunch. Fuzz time. Very old school sounding. Metal. It says you can't play metal on a Strat. Let me layer that with some chorus. 80s town. Hit that flange. And that stacks really nicely with other pedals. Fuzz and flange. Awesome. Hit that reverb. normal delay. So yeah, as you can see, this line of pedals is really dialed in, so it'll work great with single coils or humbuckers, no matter how you set it. I think that's all for us today. This is Spencer Schilling from 5-Star Guitars, talking about the Fender Hammertone line of pedals. Catch us next time for all new products and gear.